I said to you guys, in my 30s, I still feel like I was a boy. I feel like a man now.
Yeah.
Because I feel empowered, educated, I put a lot of effort into myself. A lot of people don't feel that way because we haven't given that time, invested that time in ourselves.
So I just dropped my app, www.ChisoLifts.com. Online personal training. You got custom meal plans, custom training plans. With the training plans, you got a video showing you how to do all your exercises. You could log in your sets, your reps, the weights you use, and literally every month I changed up your plan. In the description, you got a code BESTU20 at the moment. You can use that to get a 20% discount for life.
When growing up, I think a lot of us respected the wrong people.
Yeah.
Okay, because you mentioned just being an elder should command respect. I think to a certain extent it should, but I don't think it's automatic.
No.
I think respect should be, I don't think it's a given respect. I think you need to earn it.
Yeah,
but I think what we respected in our community growing up for a lot of us was we saw cars as young guys. The main thing was cars.
Yeah.
And when usually the guys who had the cars that we saw and looked up to were the dodgy people.
Yeah.
Okay. And even with growing up now, we have social media, which wasn't around then, and we have this false idea, I think, of what reality is. And I ask, is it high time? I hate using the word normal because I don't think anything is normal. Normal is specific to an individual. What's normal for Wes is not normal for you. But do we need to normalize a 9 to 5? Because it seems that people don't want, the younger generation now don't seem to want to have an honest living. When I say honest living, I mean a 9 to 5, which is deemed as average. So the average salary in the UK, depending on where you are, is roughly around 30 grand. Okay, depending on whether you're in Newcastle, whether it's roughly around 30k. Plus minus tax is about £2,400, £2,500 a month. Now, this is what the average person is earning. Okay. They say 10% of the UK is on 50k. They say 5% is on 80k and 1% is on 120k up. Okay, so 10% are earning 50k, which is about 3,600 to 3,700 a month. Do we need to normalize 9 to 5s, or should we say that we shouldn't normalize being normal? Because these kids, what they're trying to aspire and get, I don't think it's realistic, in my opinion. But someone could say to me, "Oh, don't undermine them or don't put them in a box to make them think they can't attain." But I think, how do you have a conversation to sell someone young that not everyone's going to make it? Like, it's the reality of it. Some of you will have to, because we always say work in Tesco's, we always say work in McDonald's, we say work in JD Sports like it's a bad thing. And I don't know how. And when we say those things, you'll end up in McDonald's. Okay, cool.
You know what's crazy? Don't you feel like the music has changed the goalpost, where it's moved it a lot higher? Where I'll give you an example. How old is like Central C and all these rappers?
They're young. They're like 20, 21. They're all kids.
They're your age. Where them lot are wearing Richard Milles and all these expensive watches. Where when we were that age,
no one
had a rollie.
The money's different now.
Not one man had a rollie. So like, even between the whole crew, we probably couldn't even raise up the funds for one rollie.
Normalize the experience of people in your communities. Like, for example, I can only speak from my example, whereby I'm on TV a lot only because of what I do in the community, which is helping people. Like, I'm not a footballer, I'm not, like, I've coached Jaden, I've coached those guys, but I've done things the hard way, but also done it the right way, especially in the last 10 years of my life. By sharing that story and normalizing that story, I think is important, because what we are doing is very idealistic. When young people look at, right, what is making it? It's having those watches, having these different things, having, this car, having this house, but how do you get there? And we've got this microwave culture with young people, because we're not connecting the dots for them. They're thinking, all right, one day I'm just going to pick up a mic and I'm going to spit some bars and I'm going to be on TV. It's not like that. And one thing you said for me is the honesty. Like, if I go to a kid and be like, oh, I'm going to play professional football. Okay, that's decent. So how many times are you training a week? Once a week. It's not enough. What do you mean it's not enough? Well, I know my son's training 4 or 5 times a week. I know when Jaden was young, he's doing this 6, 7 times a week. So why are you not doing the same? Like, and you've got to be honest with young people. I think we're doing young people a disservice by not being real. And it's not shooting down their dreams, it's reinforcing that dream and saying, look, this is what you need to do. This is the day in the life to get here.
But everyone can't be a boss. No. And I think we need to just accept that. I know it sounds bad, but we need to accept that some people are going to be average. And I think that conversation, even as adults, needs to be had, because
for sure.
So I remember one time I put a poll asking people how much do they need a year, to survive and live. Some people were telling me 80, 90 bags. I said,
You're surviving already.
now.
What do you need to do with that? And someone came back to me and said, oh, but I'm pretty sure you earn more than that. And that's neither here nor there. But what do you, like, what are we trying to aspire to? Because on 30K salary, there's 2.5K left. Maybe your flat is maybe £1,200-1,300. Plus minus all your bills might bring it up to say 1,800-1,900. Let's just say £2,000 is spent on you just getting by and your food and everything. So you've got £500 left. How do you have this conversation, especially even as a parent? Like, I remember when my mum was droning in my head to go to uni, because she went to uni. And I remember looking at her like, so you went to uni and I can see how your life is right now.
And that's what people see.
And you remember, that's what kids are looking at. You're looking at you working jobs. Work hard, you will get this. And you remember, you're looking like, mum, every time I need a pair of trainers, I can't get it. Every time there's a school trip, there's problems. But you're telling me I should now go and do this university that you have done, and clearly it's not working for you. How does even that conversation happen? Because I think that your son looks up to you. You can see his dad, you know, doing the mentivity, doing the mentoring. You can see you on TV. So he's got a figure in front of him as a role model. And I think a lot of the times it's self-belonging that we want. We want to be in, we just want to be, we want to be accepted. Like you join this group or this fraternity because you want to be accepted. You know, like for instance, in the circle you're in now, I'm assuming that some of the friends you were friends with when you were younger, some of them you don't talk to, and there's probably some that you're friends with because you have something in common. And I think I think we've done a disservice for men in the sense that there's this idea that women can do it on their own. And often we keep, I don't want to penalize any woman because I say that if you haven't gone to court as a man to see your child, don't talk about a woman stopping you seeing your kid. That's my opinion, because if someone owes you £10,000 and you can go to court to get it, you'll get it. Which means if someone says they're not letting you see your child and you have not gone to court, that's just my opinion. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong, but I think we've done a disservice saying that almost like men are not needed, that I can do it on my own. And I think it's a detrimental thing that we've got now where I don't know how to explain it without sounding like I'm being a villain.
No,
but
it's
not. Like
men, I know what you mean.
Like in every facet you can see that young boys want men. It's very rare you see a young man hanging around older women. It's the man he wants. And I don't understand, I can't explain it, but and not every dad who's present is a good role model. So I don't want to just use the fact that just have a man there. No. It's someone who you can see as a role model. And I say with your 15-year-old son, and all the other kids that you're mentoring, what is the difference you're seeing? And would you say that that father figure is a common denominator in these young boys? Or would you say that it's not? And I remember it's just your experience, so we can't talk, because I don't think he's talking for everybody, but just from what you've seen.
Listen, I've worked with over 10,000 children, you know, in my life, and the impact that I made, and I don't even actually realize the impact that I made, let's be honest, because I get kids and men hitting me up on Insta like, you came here and you spoke at my school 6 years ago and I never forgot. Now I'm at university, now I'm doing this. So it doesn't mean it has to be prolonged mentoring. It could be just one interaction and you inspire them. What I see in my community is that lack of positive male kind of engagement and role models, but also what is a man? What is the definition of a man in our community? Is it someone that's out there hustling, making money, doing those different things? Is it someone that stays at home, looks after the children while the lady goes out because she can earn more? What is the definition of a man? Is there power in being vulnerable as a man and showing your emotions? Yes or no? In our community, no. But now we're talking about therapy now and embracing mental health. We're seeing that now, whereby with my son, I will show him that I'm vulnerable. I never used to see my parents in a vulnerable way. I never saw my dad in a vulnerable way. He just didn't do certain things and I didn't understand it. And I'm like, Dad, why are you not doing what you're doing? Now I understand. He was going through his own stuff. You know what I mean? He was going through a lot of things that he couldn't deal with. And now I understand why he couldn't do certain things for me. So I'm no longer mad at him. I have a good relationship with him now. But it's about us now defining what is a man, you know, in our communities. What does that consist of? Because young men think that by having money, automatically I'm a man. Being out there hustling, automatically I'm a man. Sleeping with 20 girls in a year, I'm a man now because of that. Those are all myths, and those are things that have contributed to where we're at now as men in our communities. I said to you guys, in my 30s, I still feel like I was a boy. I feel like a man now. Because I feel empowered, educated, I put a lot of effort into myself. A lot of people don't feel that way because we haven't given that time, invested that time in ourselves. And I say to young people a lot, invest time in yourself and you will be paid. And they're like, yeah, money. I'm like, nah, success. Because success is more addictive than getting paid. Success will bring the money. You know, and that's the thing is, but by sharing our experiences and even having this conversation here, there's things I didn't know about him. You know, for I know him so long. We've got to have these conversations in safe spaces where we can say, look, this is how I feel. This is what I want to do. This is where I'm at. How can I help? We don't like to ask for help.
Do you feel like a lot of time there was like in our age group and in regards to like the older generation, like our parents' generation, there's like a disconnect where I'll give you an example. Growing up in my area, like in Brixton now, we had a park down the road where we used to go to, and I would be outside playing basketball, and till today I don't know how to play pool. So the more athletic bunch would be either in the cage playing basketball or playing football. The rest of the men don't be playing table tennis and pool and that. So what would happen is by like 7:30 they were shut and everyone had to get out of the park. So they would lock up the park and tell everyone get out, and that's when badness started to happen. So fast forward now, I remember when I was like 18 and I got my coaching qualification, and a couple of the men them got their football like their first badges and all that. So we've tried to ask whether they could pay us to coach, because they used to pay older people before that to coach in it, and we was like, seeing as we're local, we're always here during the summer, you might as well pay us to coach your younger kids and that. And the funny thing is, like, I remember like we used to get kicked out of the park so much. By the time I got to 18, I just never went back in there. So fast forward now, the people who had the funding for the park now, their kids who are younger than us, who were more from affluent families. That's the thing. Sometimes badness is never about the dad not being there, blah blah blah. Some of these kids, like one of them, he's probably watching this in jail right now. So he's like Greek and I think Greek and English. So he's gone Stockwell Park. His dad, mom, they both got their own houses. Both, you know what I mean, doing decent for themselves. His mom was one of the people who was in control of funding, you know what I mean, the park and all of that, the local community park. Until he's got into badness. Before that, I don't think she really cared about whether after 7:30 we could open and do stuff. But once he
happened to him,
It's
like now,
connection.
I remember like years later, she was like, "Oh yeah, do you still coach? Could you?" I was like, "Nah, man." She was like, "Oh, how come?" I was like, I'm out here grinding. I'm trying to make more money than that. You know what I mean? Like I was like, it's not like coaching was bad money. Getting £30 for 2 hours, it's you know what I mean. But they didn't. But they didn't want to. They didn't want to afford that. So what's happened now is like you've kept on kicking the older lot out. So we've got to like 18 now, and everyone's just like, got a little job. Everyone's got their little girlfriend. So there's now a big gap. So them lot now coming up, there's no one to guide them. There's no one to protect them from other youths, from other ends who trying. So they've all turned into worse versions of us. So their parents those kids from the affluent homes, their parents thought we were the bad lot. But their kids are, up until today, they're grown men, but
that's the thing I've never understood is when, well, I do understand it, is when people from middle class backgrounds or people from good homes, but I get why they get involved in crime, because I think it's
easily led.
There's a part of the dark side which a lot of people are attracted to. But I've never got it. Like when I see boys who are like 18, 19, and I've mentored young boys and I've met their mums and I've been to their houses and I'm like,
but it comes back to the thing where we're talking about social media now and how you have to back yourself and show you're not weak or you're not soft. I remember like, because we instantly think, them men are from affluent homes. You've already said it. I don't know why they will blah blah blah. So other men who are not from affluent homes might start on that kid now, but he's like, he's trapped in the jungle. So he to fit in his head is like, seeing as these lot think I'm soft, I have to show I'm better than them. So before I never used to, like, I used to think to myself, why is my little brother in all this madness? Then after I've seen what it was, like at first he was in year 7, he was getting bullied in school, where I've said to other men I know who were like younger than me but went to that school, I was like, every time you see my man, I beg you watch out for him, because he's a, you know what I mean, he's a good kid, he just wants to play basketball and all that, and he's kind of going down the same route I was going down. But a few men are trying to bully him. By the time he's got to like about year 10, remember we said 13, 14, he's gone from being a bully to
Yeah.
I'm that guy.
Mm.
Yeah, like.
But that's the power of youth culture, and that's the thing is that, like you say, when you add social media into the mix. Imagine the trends that we had when we were growing up in the 90s. Like, we didn't have social media. We saw certain things and we spread that in our communities, and everyone would be like, right, cool, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. And now what you've got now is this whole subculture of deviancy with young people, whereby they're getting paid, they're doing these different things. They're outwardly hurting, a lot of them. They're gone far beyond any help. You know what I mean? And people see that. Young people look at that as exciting, like, because like we said, we don't see the consequences.
Yeah.
And even now, they're so desensitized when it comes to death in their communities. It's like, oh, this kid's dead. Oh, my brethren died yesterday. Anyway, keep it moving.
But even
It's
as
just
an
standard.
adult, I'm no longer, like, I have to try and train my mind to feel emotion again. When I hear someone's passed away now,
It don't shock.
like a young person that's been either shot or stabbed,
It don't shock
it's
you.
not like a,
Yeah.
like when I heard, there was a 15-year-old boy who got stabbed the other day, and I almost just scrolled past and I was like,
Mad.
yeah, but why are you not, like, why wasn't, it was just like another, it's just like, oh, that's another day.
That's it.
Like but back in the day when someone 15 got shot or stabbed, it was like, raw, like someone's actually passed away from being shot, but I mean, 14-year-old people, it sounds bad, they get shot every,
It's information.
they got shot every day, B.
Question to both of you. Do you lot think it's generally worse now in this generation, or was it as bad in our generation? But because there wasn't as much social media coverage in general, where like now, if someone was getting rushed right now, everyone's got their phone out, so there's enough camera showing it, and it's straight to online. While back in our day, it was more like Chinese whispers, where raw, you heard that man from Peckham came out to Brixton and so and so got into a madness with so and so, and it was a lot of hearsay.
There were still things going on. There's still stabbings, but people weren't stabbing to kill like back then. That was the difference, is that people will fight. You know what I mean? People will stab. I'm gonna stab him in his bum. You know what I mean? Yeah, about cool.
No, it's true. It's true. It's true. Yeah, it was common.
Like, I'm just gonna slash your skin. Or cut your face.
People used to stab in the legs and the bum, and sometimes people would die from that because they were hit at artery, and it was like an accidental killing.
Yeah.
And it's like they meant to harm, but they didn't mean to.
It's a whole level now. Like,
now they're going straight to your neck.
Nah, straight away, because but it's also these games and this reality, like separating fantasy from reality. Because when I'm talking to some of these youths now, and they're like, you got dipped last week, but you respawned. And I was like,
what?
Respawned? I was like, well, hold on, wait.
I came back to life.
What are you talking about? Like, this ain't Fortnite, this ain't COD. Like, what do you mean respawned? Yeah, he came back to life, he respawned, like, it's mad. Like, I'm thinking, this is the language that they're using.
Yeah.
And that these games and these different things. And my mum used to say to me, like, oh, play those games, man, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But we've got to a point where we become desensitized, where we can scroll past the killing of a 15-year-old and be like, oh, that's normal, that's normal, and keep it moving. Imagine what these young people are like now. Like I said, it's survival mode. Some of these young kids are going to school like, you know what, to survive, I need this Rambo. I need this Rambo, because if it's kill or be killed. And they got to that point now where they don't feel anything for themselves. You have that lack of empathy for other people. Like you said with the lady, there was no personal connection to none of this that was going on in the streets. The minute her son was involved, right, what am I going to do? Because there's no personal connection. It's just the same way. If someone says something to you like is racist, like a white person might be racist to you, or Asian, and they call you a black this, black that, until they feel that same oppression, they're not going to understand it. And then when they do understand it, oh my gosh, like, I really understand where you're coming from. There's no empathy in society now, because I'm not taking the time to build those relationships, taking time to understand, taking time to mourn, to talk about mental health and well-being. And now with COVID, what's happened in the last lockdowns and stuff, these kids, they don't care.
They don't care.
They're out here just taking what they want to take. Because they feel entitled now. Because they feel that this is what I got to do to make it in this world, because I'm surviving. I ain't got food at home, so I'm going to go out here and I'm going to...
Survival of the fittest.
It's
Dog eat dog world.
It is nuts, man.
It's proper sad though, because like, you'd think like, with every generation, like now there's more of us who've got like a closer connection with them. You'd think that it would have helped to improve things, but it just, I don't know. Some days I just think to myself like, what's the point? There's days you go through, what's the point?
I feel like that.
You
we
know
all
what I mean?
feel like that.
But that's another reason why this channel started, because I just thought to myself, like people would ask all the time, why don't you do this? Why don't you help with that? Blah, blah, blah. You help people. And I'll be like, you know what? I would like to help the kids, but me personally, because how society has turned me, I can't even lie. I'm part of the problem with being in a very, very strong capitalist mindset, and how I'm always chasing my grind, and I'm part of that problem. So it's like, I said to myself, I would like to give time to the kids, but the kind of money I want for myself, that's gonna be a clash.
Yeah.
So you're basically selfish.
Huh?
You're selfish.
Listen.
No, you're selfish. No, you're selfish. No, you're selfish.
On the real.
We just spent almost 2 hours talking,
It's not
and we've got to the end of this conversation. And you just said
selfish.
the amount of money you need, there's not enough in it. You know, I commend you, sir. No, you're an honourable gentleman. I commend all the work you do in the community, and you need to be honoured, sir. I commend you, sir. I commend you.
So
I commend you.
I put self
I commend
first.
you, even though
wait.
150k from Goldman Sachs, but I still commend you.
Not for me personally.
By the way, so back to
I don't see none of that.
back to what I was saying before Gabriel really interrupted. I put self first, but at the same time, it's come back after a while where I said, "Rah, I still need to play my part." But what's the fastest way to reach kids?
Yeah.
Better than the internet, because they're always computers, they're always logged in. So I figured, "Rah, if we do a channel, we're gonna hit that age
Everyone's
group,
got a part to play.
and we're gonna
pull it back.
but-
Try to
no,
pull it
no,
back.
no,
Try to
no,
pull it back.
but
You tried to pull it back and do my part. Yeah,
Listen,
try to pull it back.
No, but on the real, I swear down, yeah.
Time efficiency.
When I finished university, 2014, so I went university late. I went 28 and I graduated at 32. Did 3.5 years. I worked full time, studied full time.
I went back in 2014.
Yeah,
as well. Yeah.
but I got to a point now where I was working in the youth sector for so long, wasn't getting the money that I should have been getting. I was struggling, but I'm making an impact, which I want to do. I got to the point I said, you know what, I'm done.
Yeah.
I can't do this anymore. Like, and I understand it because I was going to go into become an in-house recruiter for investment banks.
Okay.
Because I'm good at that. I'm a salesman. That's what I do.
I'm telling you, the schools are frustrating.
Oh, listen.
But once again, I ask you,
Bro.
how do we get? This is the issue, though. How do we get more men into this field, this sphere, this sphere to make change? Because how much money is enough money? And I want a genuine conversation, Chiso.
Yeah.
As a man, how much money? Because we're talking about what it means to be a man, and I'm not going to say money is what it is to be a man. But in 2021, Chiz, how much money do you need to survive as a man?
Hey, did you
No,
hear?
don't go left or right.
Wait, I'm not even going. I'm putting the extra Maggie into it. Did you wake up this morning and see Twitter Spaces last night? How we got told that UK men are not romantics and blah blah blah, and where someone's had to explain to them where B Money and Young Tef have said, you're comparing UK men to
Continent.
they're comparing London men to countries and continents as a whole, where they're comparing London men to the whole of America and comparing London men to whole of Nigeria, where you've got a bigger black population, one, and you've got in a bigger black population, you've got more men who've got money out of that than over here. So if you say, like, for instance, there's 40 million.
You know, you didn't answer my question.
Wait.
I'm just letting you know. You just went to go and do. You went to go and do round the globe.
I'm adding all of this to explain how much I need.
Okay.
So by the time we come back to the UK, let's say like in America, 40 million people are there, black people, and let's say 20 million are men, blah blah blah, and out of 20 million, 2 million have got money. Bring it to UK, yeah. There's only about what? 3 million of us?
3.6.
Yeah.
Wait,
Gabriel.
But just get to answer
Let
the
me
question.
land. I'm still in the air. I'm still flying. So anyway, I need to be able to do for the current UK trend, to be able to look after my family and to be able to afford the romantic lifestyle where we do Maldives once a year or something like that. Give me about 100k.
You need 100k a year.
About 100k. Give me about 100.
To do what with?
So I could invest in my woman's life, my life, everything.
I mean, 30,
and
40%,
still have
that's going to be taxed anyway.
Exactly.
So what you're saying is you need, because 100k roughly is about 5,800, 6,000 pound a month.
Yeah.
So you need 6k a month.
Yeah. After
It's
I pay
London,
after I pay my bills, pay her London, yeah. Pay my bills, pay her bills. Be able to
That's
give
close. But my thing is this. This is
Alright,
that's close to the 1% of the UK.
Exactly.
But this is my thing about being realistic. 1% of the UK on paper are earning that.
And that's where it goes back to where I said, to myself, when I was younger, I could still be trying to coach kids and all of that. But if the schools ain't paying on time, am I going to live on bread and water?
But what do you need 100k for?
Huh?
But this is what I mean.
Brother,
this is what I mean by being realistic. 1% of the UK
it goes
are
back to,
earning that.
It goes back to where Sasa said, we live in London, where he said, if you 2.5K now. You've paid all your bills, blah blah blah. You're left with 5 bills left.
If that,
But that's what it is, though.
In our current lifestyle,
We have to be
I know, but
realistic.
in our current lifestyle, if you're left with 5 bills left there, you phone me and say,
Your
wait,
current lifestyle, don't say mine. You're not.
Oh!
What I mean by that is that he said he's got to do romantic dates and Maldives. So that's your lifestyle, not mine. Please, I'm a humble Harry here. You said Maldives and doing all this. You need 100K to survive.
How many Rolexes have you bought in the
I don't
past 6 weeks?
I don't understand what
How
conversation
many
is.
Rolexes have you bought in the past 6 weeks?
I don't understand this conversation.
Cool.
It's an
Let's
investment.
get back to reality. I ain't the flex is an investment. Well done. Anyway, let's get back.
How much would you say you need as a man, please?
right now.
How much do you need to survive?
I say between 80 and 100K.
Brother.
Remember, I've got a teenage son.
Inflation.
Listen.
But you know what? I don't think people understand the numbers we're saying.
Bro, listen.
I do, because I know where I've come from. And I know what I need.
I'll tell you another reason why I say
So
that.
basically, all three of us, as grown men in their late 30s going to 40, because I'm taking you two as an example, we're saying we need to be in the 1%.
Alright, Gabriel, let's say
No, I'm saying we need to be to survive.
I'm saying right now, to do what we want to do. Remember,
Gabriel, let's say the next 2 years here, all of a sudden, I've got a girl, I've got her pregnant, me and her got together, then I end up having 2 kids in the next 2 years. We've taken out the rent, we've taken out all the bills you mentioned earlier. That's 2K. Childcare. Then when the kids, both of them go nursery, we've gone over 4 and a bit. So really and truly.
All right. So wait. So
really and truly, we're left now with a
1%
grand.
on paper earning that 100K. That's the 1%. So what we're now saying now is this. To the men who are out there now, who are part of, let's even just say the 10% who are on 50 bags and they're earning about 3.8, 3.7 after tax. What we're saying is that as a man, in just in the circle, we're saying it's not enough.
I'm not saying it's not enough.
I'm not saying it's not enough, but I'm saying for me.
So some people, 50K would be an amazing amount for some people.
You need 100 bags.
Me, I'm saying to you, where I'm at right now, that's what I need personally to do what I want to do. Like, I don't just want to live here. Like, I want to live in Kenya and potentially Ghana. I want to have somewhere in Barbados. I want to make investments.
And if as men, we're hearing this now, and the young boys are hearing this, and they feel they can't attain to this, is this not the reason why even men our age? Because sometimes we always talk about the youths. I've got men who are my age on the road, not on the road, on the road stabbing people, but on the road.
Yeah, of course.
And we're gonna diss the youths who are 14, 15, 16 for selling drugs when we've probably all got friends out here doing it.
Well, I don't know. I know. The thing is, it's about associations, isn't it? Like, there were certain people that I used to roll with back in the day. Like when we were at SFX, like fraud was the number one income. Like people that were just like white collar, like, cool, fraud, I don't do nothing, but I'm gonna dip into fraud. Like it was around everybody, so it was like, raw, this is free money. I can make this. I'm not hurting anybody.
Brother,
money's insured.
There was a couple of men who were like 3rd years, and they used to drive into college, and they were
Megane convertibles and them.
Megane, you know who? That was the whip back in the day.
Listen.
We all know who had one. You know the same person.
Their R1s, R6s. Cool. And you saw it, you thought, no, I need a piece of that pie. But even for me at that age, I knew because I'm all or nothing. So I knew me. And I knew if I went down that road, football wouldn't have worked out. These things wouldn't have worked out. There's certain men that were millionaires then that are not, that are not now. That they went prison and they lost it all. So the thing is, it's easy come, easy go. When you're in a position where your back's up against the wall, you've got no options, that becomes your only option. Because then when you're trying to make money from fraud, and I've been around people that have been like this, where you're trying to make money from fraud and that dries up because it's like, sometimes you make money, sometimes you don't. Then it's like, all right, cool, let's run up on this youth's house. You know, that's not a bad idea. And then it's like, right, let's go and shop now. That's not a bad idea because you want to make that money. And like you said, we're all hypocrites to some degree because we're in this capitalist system, which is based on exploitation. So when we talk about county lines and that's exploiting young people, we're still, by taking more, by wanting 80 to 100K, we're exploiting somebody else.
We're part of it.
We are part of
the problem. Because
100 bags. But hear the joke. There's an episode here, further down here, with Dominic here, where he shows how to make that money the smart way. It will take time, but smart little side hustles, legitly, where you can make that money for yourself, where you might not be on the biggest 9-to-5 income, but if you're saving that little here and there, after a while, smartly, you're gonna hit that amount.
So as you said, because I'm feeling around, as you said, you're really passionate about. You just want to round everything up, kind of a little bit. I just said you're really passionate about what you're doing with mentivity, but as you said, you need the 100K close to that. So how passionate would you still be if you're now on 30K?
Listen, I've been doing.
You drop it out, right? And you drop it out, right?
No, I wouldn't.
No, you would. You need
No,
100K, bro.
because this is my identity.
No, look me in my eye, bro.
No, I'm looking at it. I'm looking at it. I literally, I'll be real.
Hey, you might as well do this.
I will
Gabriel,
still do this
that.
work for no money.
Cross the leg.
I will still do this for no money. That's how passionate I am. And that's the thing, is that I nearly let it go in 2014.
Okay.
And if I did that, I wouldn't be doing the things I'm doing today. But it's not just about what we're doing in our community. It's also about challenging certain things like the police. You know, challenging the police. Challenging the government and saying, look, let's lobby, because the power is with us, the people, not the government. So I'm on this journey. I'm still learning myself. But I'm like, you know what? I'm going to give that information to people, because that information can empower people to make changes. I'm not going to make total changes in my community, but I can be part of that inspiration and help people do that. And that's the key thing. We've got to do that.
What I will say though is that you shouldn't, not saying you are, but you shouldn't shy away from being paid what you deserve. And I know I'm just joking him, but from what I've researched, you deserve that. So no. So all jokes aside,
I
all
don't shy
banter
away
aside,
from that.
no, because sometimes when people are doing work and doing things like mentoring, and sometimes people hear the amount someone's making, they're like, what do you mean? I'm like, yes, they should. If they're doing a good enough job, in the same way Red Cross CEO can earn £200,000 a year from a charity, why can't you collect the same money if you're doing the right work?
The difference to me is that I want to acquire wealth to be able to do more for my community, to buy this piece of land and build that school and do these different things.
Well, like Dr. Nemo Johnson, who hasn't built a school yet.
Don't even put me in the same.
You know, that's cool, yeah?
You might
Dr.
say
Nemo
haircut,
Johnson took like 500 bags or something, and the school still ain't been built.
Me and Wes have this conversation off the camera all the time in regards to what's the long-term goal of this. Where I've said to him that, exactly what you said. I've said to him, it's about having enough to build for us, for us. Because I'm like, if one person don't start a trend, like no one's gonna do it. But if like you're doing it your way, I'm doing it my way, Ish is doing it this way, you're doing it your way. Before we're causing a domino effect where other people are like, that man have done this. Why haven't I done this? Then they start wanting to join in. So before you know it, like where you said earlier, we haven't got our own kind of, I can't remember the word you used, but our own kind of system where like we've mentioned like Stamford Hill, where the money stays in tent. Like by the time there's a few of us in our age group generation who start that trend and makes it become trendy and makes it become, because you know in our community it's down to trends, isn't it? So when it becomes a thing that we make it become cool to set up something for our community, everyone starts to do the same.
But there's a but though. That's only going to start when we trust each other. And I say financially we don't trust each other. If I came today and I said I've got a few men that are ready to open a black bank, for instance, or a black insurance company, anything it involves, because on a small scale we trust each other. When it comes to buying cocktails or buying things on a small scale, it doesn't really matter. We trust each other. But when it comes to the real stuff, like I say, look, there's some land there. It's gonna cost 2 mil. Brother, I need 200 bags from you. I need 100 bags from you. I need.
But you know what? Why? Because we don't have the relationships within the community. We haven't that trust, that empathy. We don't have that connection. But what you're seeing now, I'm seeing a recovery and rehabilitation of black peoples and African peoples in this country, whereby people can now be more open about how they feel and embrace people and be like, look, I'm gonna get through and I'm gonna bring you with me. With the work that I'm doing, like I spoke about United Borders, you know, this guy called Justin Finlayson, Amani Simpson, you know, Purcell Ascot, who runs the Wall of Comedy, Wall of Entertainment, Japan. I become friends with these people now, whereby they're a different type of black man, you know, in that respect, whereby, I can't do it, but I'm going to put you on. And that does build trust, you know what I mean? So we have to really now, sometimes, you got to throw caution to the wind to some degree and say, you know what, I'm going to be this person. If I get burned, I get burned to some degree, not to the tune of 200 bags. But the fact is that, look, I want to support.
And that's the reality of it, though, is that I think the change happens because I think representation is key. And I think it's important for people to see what you're doing and for black boys and men to see and be like, there's a lane that is there. It's good for people to see what Chiso's doing and say, there's a lane for it. And even for me, I say that the change happens with you. And I think everyone that wants to make the change is you be the representation that someone looks at and says it can work. So for instance, there are people who have started events off the back of you. You don't even know that. People have started doing mentoring. They haven't said anything to you, but they've seen you do and be like, hold on, what? If he can do it, and the same with restaurants. Some people have opened restaurants after I've opened mine, and they're thinking, if Gabriel can do it, then I can.
But that's the effect we need, and that's the effect we want. where everyone is,
Positive one. Yeah.
it's on a positive vibe. If not, everyone will be going.
But you know the key thing as well, what we normally do as well,
Yeah.
when we make it and we do something, one, we leave, we leave the ends,
Yeah.
but then we got something like, this is mine.
Hug
Yeah,
it,
no,
and
no.
you have to
And
hug
that's
it.
the thing, it's not like, okay, I've set up a business, do you know how to file your tax return? You know how to do this, do you know how to do that? And it's sharing that information, and we don't share that information because of that lack of trust, because we got that whole kind of conditioned mentality whereby that house Negro, that field Negro, okay, if I get to the house, screw you, man. There, like
Yeah.
I'm up here now, and I'm in.
If I get up, just
aircon.
like that.
But that's
Bye, guys.
conditioning, and we're starting to rehabilitate slowly. You're seeing that across the world. America had their time, but now what you're seeing in Britain, in the Black Britons, what we're doing, the men and the women,
Especially the
3%.
women.
Listen,
You have to see the women.
Yeah.
They're very
we
industrious.
are
See
nothing
women.
without them.
Listen, the amount of businesses that you check how much entrepreneurs are coming out of
Yeah.
the womenhood.
Yeah.
Women, they're doing their thing, you know.
Yeah.
Us men,
But this is why
women.
we gotta work in tandem.
Hope you like these episodes. More positive content coming. Please stay tapped in. Thank you.